Hello and welcome back to Viper Bites as we continue on our NFL draft coverage here, bringing you the Prospect Profile Series. And now we're going to turn our attention to Georgia running back James Cook. Hey, he's right there. But before we dive into his profile, take a second and give us a good old-fashioned thumbs up on the Vipers YouTube network here. Make sure you're subscribed and get those notifications turned on. And if you're listening to us on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, make sure to take a second, rate and review, and make sure you're downloading every episode because you're not going to miss what we have coming down the pipe here in the next few weeks. Now, as it pertains to James Cook, how many cooks is too many in the NFL kitchen? Well, if James is anything like his brother Dalvin, I'm sure NFL fans will be more than happy to whatever is being served up on Sundays. Now, when it comes to choosing colleges, it was his brother Dalvin who basically encouraged James to forge his own path, make a name for himself that ultimately led him to Georgia rather than Florida State, where Dalvin played. Now, James Cook was the number 3 running back in the country in 2018 with a scouting grade of 85 with a 4-star rating. Sound familiar? That's pretty much exactly what Dalvin Cook had coming out of high school as well. So pretty much, hey, the pre-FBS story lines up pretty much the same there before one went to Florida State and one went to Georgia. Now, speaking of the Georgia Bulldogs, 5'11", 199. That's what you're getting in James Cook. You're also getting a RAS score there that comes in at 8.73, which is pretty darn good. He's also got a 4.4340, which was in the 94th percentile. And yes, that is faster than what Dalvin ran at the combine. So, hey, congratulations, James Cook. You run in your underwear faster than your brother does. Now, when it comes to the vertical, 33 inches, broad jump, 124. Now, that speed score, courtesy of Player Profiler, 104.3. That's in the 78th percentile, while the burst score comes in at 118.1, which is in the 48th percentile. When we talk about the college dominator, it's not really fair when we're talking about Georgia Bulldogs, right? His college dominator was 16, which is in the 21st percentile. And when you look at some of the running backs that were in that running back room at Georgia, you've got guys like Zamir White, Elijah Holyfield, DeAndre Swift, all taking away potential carries that James could have had. I mentioned all those backs at Georgia. Well, he had an 8.2% target share, which was in the 66th percentile. But his yards per carry, when given an opportunity with these other backs, 6.6, which was in the 86th percentile. Now, all these backs in that Georgia backfield, when we look at it through the last few years there, I mean, you got Elijah Holyfield, made it to the NFL. You got DeAndre Swift, made it to the NFL. Zamir White will be in the NFL here in a few weeks from now. So, obviously, a lot of talent there, any way you want to break it up. It's easy to see why Cook never managed more than 50 carries in any season prior to last year. And up until his senior season, he only had 117 carries in 3 seasons to go along with 40 receptions. With those 117 carries, you can see that he had the potential, rushing for 775 yards while averaging 6.6 yards per carry. In 2021, while splitting the backfield with Zamir White, Cook had 113 carries for 728 yards, averaging 6.4 yards per carry while adding 7 touchdowns on the ground. He also made a big difference when it came to the passing game there, in which he chipped in with 27 passes for 140 yards and 4 more scores. Now, when we look at these strengths and the weaknesses, a lot of them will line up exactly with Dalvin Cook. They're very similar type players, but they're very different, if that makes sense. Now, strength, his jump cuts and slides, they are next level. They are NFL ready right now. He's got great hands for a back with 67 receptions and 0 drops. Yes, that's better than Dalvin Cook, okay? 0 is better than 1, no matter how you want to look at it. And he will absolutely own linebackers at any level, whether it's the passing game or the running game. It doesn't matter. He identifies defenders and quickly turns it upfield post-catch now. He is a patient runner and lets those lead blocks all set up. He has top-end speed, and he can house it from anywhere. And he is pro-ready. We got those NFL bloodlines. We've already talked about Dalvin Cook, right? You don't think they've talked throughout the last few years in which James was coming out of college? He is more than ready to handle the rigors. He's already seen what it takes to be a professional in his brother. So I think he's going to be able to step in and be a pro's pro, so to speak. Now, his weaknesses, he needs to become a little bit tougher between the tackles. He wants to get the ball outside, and he kind of doesn't – he will go inside and run between the tackles, but there's always a little bit of hesitation when he looks at that. Now, the contact balance is somewhat lacking. And if he's unable to prove to be a solid inside runner, he's not going to be utilized near the goal lines or on short yardage. So that could affect a little bit of his value, especially in fantasy drafts. Now, when we look at the overall analysis here, Cook is a strong back that uses a wide upper body to shed would-be tackles, but he also possesses that dangerous jump cut. That's one of the best in the drafts. and leave defenders grabbing at air. Cook does an excellent job of setting up would-be tacklers with an ability to plant and go, and then can be utilized under center or out of the slot where he can run routes or come in motion and take some of those jet sweep type plays. Now, he's also better suited for gap runs, outside runs, and tosses, or re-type options rather than, say, inside running there. So that's the thing that teams are going to have to look at. Now, if you want to throw the ball to Cook, good things, they are going to happen. I promise you that. He is tough on nickel corners, and imagine the mismatches that he will create versus linebackers. I don't care if it's at college or the NFL. It's going to be difficult for a linebacker to stay in Cook's hip pocket or in his kitchen, so to speak. Cook could work himself eventually into a workhorse type role, but is stronger as a committee type back. Teams with a bigger bruising type back would benefit from Cook's skill set, and a smart coordinator won't be afraid to have both backs on the field at the same time, creating mismatches all over the place. You want mismatches, though? Make sure you go turn on and get that 2022 NFL Prospect Guide courtesy of Fantasy Points. Yes, you're going to get 200-plus rookie profiles broken down by NFL Films, Greg Cassell, Wes Huber. He's going to be talking rookies. And you get the whole crew there, Joe Dolan, Scott Baird, Graham Barfield, John Hansen, all collaborating on this project, bringing you strengths, weaknesses, NFL transitions for these prospects, combine results, mock drafts, heck, rankings. You want Devy rankings? We got those. You want the rookie rankings? Hey, we got those too, all for the price of $25. This is one of the best bang for the buck magazines out there today. Hey, you want more savings, more deals? Head to fantasypoints.com, enter promo code VIPERS22 and get 10% off that Fantasy Points subscription. Do it right now. I'll wait. What you don't want to wait for is hitting that notification button right now, because when trades happen, when signings go down, we got you covered to break it all down right here on the Vipers Network. So make sure you tune in next time, because we got plenty more prospect profiles coming your way and lots more content